game is a battle. If it's not fun, why bother? If it's not a battle, where's the fun? It's a test that you pass or a quest that you fail. A race against time. Fun and battle always locked together. But the game is also something else. It's a journey, a passport to new worlds, maybe even an odyssey. A look, a feel, an exploration. Close your focus and open your mind. Yes, the journey requires the right ticket. And that ticket is Nintendo Switch. But in the end, it's not just where you can take your game. It's where your game can take you. So let's go.
Oh, 新游戏吗？
Story goes that when the world was young, everyone in our race lived on the world tree.
异域神剑
Together with our divine father, the architect. They called that paradise Elysium. You're Blade.
As the driver of the Aegis, can you take me to Elysium?
I'm in. Let's go to Elysium. I'll take you there myself. Pyra!
Here!
Coming in!
Got it!
We'll show you. We'll show you what me and Pyra are made of. Take this! Now that you have come this far, there can be no turning back. You and that sword can't be! I'm guessing your goal is Elysium.
Rex!
Pyra!
This blade he calls Pyra. Our flames hide something deeper.
What's the matter? Are you the Aegis or aren't you?
I won't use that power, and I won't let you use it either!
If you know what you desire, you will have to show it. Not with words, but with your own strength. Everyone, let's go!
今年就有了，好快。First look，
Sometimes you need a hero. A sword swinging, fire wielding, stone cold hero with an insatiable appetite.
啊，
been enjoying the journey with Nintendo Switch so far. When I found out that Nintendo Switch is being accepted by video game fans from all over the world as a home console that could be taken with you anywhere, I felt so relieved. Take Switch outside, come together, and share the experience. This idea was how we hoped people would play with Nintendo Switch, but people are coming up with many creative ways to play, in all kinds of places, in many more ways than we expected. This summer, Nintendo and its third-party partners will release many multiplayer games that can be played anytime, anywhere, and with anyone. We hope there will be many heated competitions that will be ignited by Nintendo Switch. Now, we'll continue our look at even more new game worlds for Nintendo Switch. But before we do, there is one announcement we'd like to share from our very special friend. Please take a look.
Oh,
Hi everyone, I'm Tsunekazu Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. Just the other day, we announced that Pokken Tournament Deluxe is coming to Nintendo Switch. This is the latest version of the premier Pokemon fighting game. Two people can dive right into battle using two Joy-Con controllers, so you can experience heated Pokemon battles with just one Nintendo Switch console. There are some fresh additions, including new Pokemon, and this deluxe version of the game will be on display at E3 for attendees to play. I have one more announcement. Game Freak has begun developing a core RPG Pokemon title on Nintendo Switch. It may not release for more than a year, but we hope you'll look forward to it all the same. In the meantime, let's enjoy this year's E3.
哦，今年不会有任何消息。
We heard that the Pokemon series is being developed for Nintendo Switch. What kind of Pokemon game will we be able to play on Nintendo Switch? I'm looking forward to it myself. At this year's E3, we're mostly showing games that will be released in 2017. But please know that here at Nintendo, we're working on many forms of entertainment that can only be made possible on Nintendo Switch. We hope you look forward to them as well. Now let's continue on with the journey with Nintendo Switch.
《银河战士》4，对啊，听这音乐应该就是《银河战士》了。哦，正在开发，所以没有画面。2018，圣火无双吧。
You two must keep going.
No, I'm coming with you. I am Marth, the Prince of Altea. We've come here to save you.
Remember that you can rely on your friends. We're with you.
Get it together, you two. If you can't do this, who can?
You fought your way this far. There's nothing you two can't do.
No matter the danger, we can overcome it if we're working together.
All right, let's move out.
Working together, we can finish this.
Hi there, I'm the Legend of Zelda series producer, Eiji Aonuma.
要讲 DLC
You
吧？
may have already heard about it during Bethesda's showcase that was held a few days ago. It was announced that select Zelda items will appear in the Nintendo Switch version of Skyrim. I'm really looking forward to exploring Skyrim with the Master Sword in hand. Oh, when did this Master Sword get in my hand? Next up, we'll take a look at the DLC packs for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Let us take you on a new Hyrule adventure.
Trial of the Sword. Of the Sword 吗？哦，是要连打吗？嗯哼。哦，原来这边有一只哦。哦。Champion Ballad。
What did you think? I actually have one more announcement that I'd like to share. The 4 champions that appeared in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be available as amiibo. The Zora champion, Mipha. The Goron champion, Daruk. The Rito champion, Rivali. and the Gerudo champion, Urbosa. You'll be able to use these 4 amiibo in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Of course, you'll be able to use these in the DLC packs that you just saw, so please look forward to them.
This changes the game. Travel the world. Bring people together. Play anywhere with anyone. If video gaming is a journey, then anywhere has to include a stop right here in LA during E3. This is Magic Week, where booths buzz and channels glow, where the game worlds you've heard about suddenly spring into life. And this summer, a new kind of heated competition ignites right on Nintendo Switch. It kicks off later today with the Splatoon 2 World Inkling Invitational, which brings teams from the Americas, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan to see whose colorful skills are the best. Tomorrow, the Pokken Invitational will be held. You might recognize some of our 8 competitors who will be duking it out in heated battles. Later on Wednesday, we'll see 8 players throw punches in the fun and competitive game ARMS, which launches later this week. 4 of our players will be pros, and the other 4 will be E3 attendees who rise to the top by battling on the show floor. If you're going to E3, we hope you'll accept the challenge. And no matter where you are, be sure to catch up with Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3 for all the details and news about Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS. But now, there are a few more worlds left to visit on our journey before we land in the booth. Let's go!
要马里奥吧 ？Off.
Ubisoft is proud to announce its new Rabbids game,
再
Mario
宣传一
Plus
次。
Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and it will be developed exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. The Rabbids' crazy personalities and unpredictable behavior will shine as they arrive in a reimagined and twisted mushroom kingdom. They will surprise you in this tactical adventure filled with combat and exploration. Mario and his friends will join them in an epic quest to put the kingdom back in order. We can't wait for you to play the game on August 29th.
Hmm? 哦，刚车子的。
On behalf of everyone here at Psyonix, we're extremely excited to announce that Rocket League is indeed coming to Nintendo Switch. We know that both the Rocket League and Switch communities have wanted it, and now we're going to release it, complete with cross-network support that lets you play against opponents on other platforms.
The Switch version will have all the features and modes we've released thus far, plus exclusives like local wireless multiplayer, Mario and Luigi hats for customizing your car, and new exclusive cards we'll talk about later this year.
Look for Rocket League on Nintendo Switch this holiday.
"大金刚"？嗯？哦，魔物猎人啊！嗯？对。嗯？OK。
everybody, and welcome to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3 2017. We're back for another year. We've got a lot of great game content to show you, and a lot of special guests swinging by as well. But to get things kicked off, we're going to take another look at Super Mario Odyssey. Just saw the video in the Spotlight. It's going to be coming out on October 27th, really soon, and we're going to take a look at some gameplay. I'm Sam from the Treehouse, joined by my colleagues from the Treehouse, Rob, and Scott on the end. And we have some very special guests with us for this segment. We've got the game's producer, Koizumi-san, and the game's director, Motokura-san. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Hey.
Really looking forward to it. So I know folks are probably really excited to get into gameplay, but before we jump in, there were a lot of really cool reveals in that video, and I think folks are going to be really interested in all the different directions that you're taking this game. But at the core, there's really kind of a driving philosophy that you've got going. I was wondering if you could tell our viewers a little bit more about that.
まず今ビデオを見ていただいてどうでしたか？何か面白かったことはありますか？
First, could I just ask you, was there anything you saw in there that particularly surprised you or interested you?
I gotta say, the first time I saw that T-Rex, my heart stopped. It was so exciting.
よかったです。今回のマリオはテーマが旅になっていて、別の国に行った時の驚きをすごく強調しています。
So we have a theme of going on a journey in this game, but we're also trying to give the player a lot of surprises, and I think the dinosaur is a really big surprise for most.
マリオシリーズってマリオが持っているその分かりやすさであるとか、可愛らしさであるとか、誰でも分かるような共感というもので、今作ってきて、今もこれも入ってるんですけども、今回は特に旅の驚きっていうことをすごく、盛り込みたいので、驚きっていうテーマを、体験もそうだし、ビジュアルもそうだし、たくさん詰め込んでます。
But we also want to balance that feeling of surprise with some emotional resonance, giving people something that's familiar, that's attractive, that's really cute from the Mario series, and bounce people back and forth between the familiar and the surprising.
でそれを体験するための新しいプレイシステムを、作りました。それは音倉さんに説明してくれます。
So we've come up with some play systems to get that across as well. So it's not just a look and feel, but a play experience also. And I'd like to turn to Mr. Motokura to explain that.
今作は帽子を投げて敵や物を操ってとある地球を冒険するっていう、物語になっています。
So the kind of overall story of this game is, you're going around, you're throwing your hat, you're taking over different enemies and objects, and you're traveling the world while you do that.
そのパワームーンっていうのがイコール驚きになっていますので、それを帽子を投げたりいろんなものを操って箱庭を探索してもらえたらと思います。
And we talked about surprise before, but basically the unit of surprise in this game is those power moves. Those always equal a surprise, so you go around, you throw your hat at different things, you control enemies, and you find things that are surprising, and that gives you a power move.
Right on, so let's get into some gameplay. Rob, you're going to take us into New Donk City.
I am. First, I'd like to take a quick look at the Odyssey, for which the game is named. It's the ship that Mario uses to travel the world, and it's powered by these power moons, so you keep needing additional thresholds of them to get onto the next kingdom. And just to show off a little bit of the new moves, obviously there's the hat throw. You can make it stay in place, which is sometimes valuable. It can grab things for you. There's two kinds of coins, which we'll talk about it a little later on.
Actually, there in that little dialogue box, we saw Cappy.
Oh yeah. Cappy is both the red hat that he's wearing, and also in his native form, he's a white top hat. And so one other move that's pretty cool is the circular throw, knocks away everything.
会累积的，应该是用来买帽子，然后子弟就是像银河马那样子，需要收集100个才会有什么奖励。然后鞋也是跟银马一样是3D。
そうですね。今作はものすごくいろんな試作っていうものをしてから作っています。
So when we were making this game, what we started out doing was making just a huge amount of different gameplay prototypes.
このキャプチャーというアクションもそのうちの一つです。
And this capture action was just one of those prototypes.
みんなでアイデアを出し合った中に出てきたんですけども、それをそうですね 2,3 日ぐらいで作って遊んでみたらものすごく面白かったので、すぐゲームの中心に入れようと決めました。
So, it was just one of the ideas that came up, but we worked on it for 2 or 3 days, and it just instantly turned into something that was really fun, and we decided, well, okay, this should just be the center of this game.
I love how much it encourages that exploration and experimentation that I think the Mario games along these lines are so known for when you think about Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine. Here we've got so much stuff that just looks interesting, and you're wondering, okay, what will happen if I throw my cap at it? You never really know what's going to happen, so you want to try everything just to see.
何でも試してみたくなる仕様ですね。どういう要素がある。
そうですね。いろんなものにこう帽子を投げたり、試してもらえたらなと思います。
Yeah, I definitely hope when people, while they're playing this game, they just throw their hat at everything and try all sorts of different things. Whoops, that was a mistake. Right now, normally, if you're following the story path of the game, you'd be talking to Mayor Pauline, who wants you to recruit musicians. There's one there.
所以棋子应该是站点，碰了之后就可以快速传送吧。
Like possess rockets and turn into rockets with mustaches.
Actually, that's an interesting note there. So you mentioned Mayor Pauline, and I think our sharp-eyed viewers will have noticed that some of the street signs are references to some Donkey Kong characters. We've got some interesting red
This is
girders
where
going
I
on
do
here.
all my
I
training.
wonder, Kozume-san and Monokura-san, if you could tell us a little bit more about this city. It's got some interesting backstory.
やっぱりポリン市長がいて、ニュードンシティという名前がついてると、だからもっと何かその都市について説明していただけますか。
そうですね。名前もそうですし、ポリンってドンキーコングのキャラクターで何かのゲームに関係がありそうですけど、今日ちょっと詳しく言えないんですけど。
So certainly you can tell that Pauline is from Donkey Kong, and the name New Donk City probably leads you to a couple of hints, but we can't get into too much of it today.
And I like the shirt you're wearing, by the way.
That is a
Good
snazzy
choice
shirt.
today.
お楽しみに。
很不难的
Please look
死
forward to
逼
hearing more about that.
I gotta take the long way.
Oh, good luck. And this is interesting here where we see, really throughout New Donk City and I think throughout the world, we've got these really fun playground elements where you're bouncing on things, you're jumping on things, you're
You
swimming.
got the moon.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about how you came up with that kind of play mechanic in the game?
ぶら下がったりして、飛び跳ねたりして、いろんな、環境のものに反応させられるんですけど、どういうふうにそういうなんか遊び場っぽい雰囲気を出せるように考え方ありますか？
はい。まずその施策っていうのでものすごくいっぱい遊びを作っています。それをこう配置してステージっていうものを作ります。まず。
So, going back to that prototyping process I was talking about before, we obviously create lots and lots of different ones, lots and lots of different game ideas. And then next what we think about is where to place them within the stage.
そこにそのアートであるとか具体的なものを載せて遊んでみます。
So, we put in the stage, we like combine it with different art assets, like kind of like real things to see what it might actually look like or work in game, and then try playing it.
そうするともっとこうしたいとかいろんな意見が出てくるので、それをさらにそこに上乗せして作っています。
And then, obviously out of that, like different things come up, like, oh, maybe we can do this a little bit differently, maybe this could actually work like this instead, and then we kind of add that to it, and the process just continues from there.
なので先ほどちょっと出たタクシーなんかをジャンプさせるのもスーパーマリオサンシャインでもちょっと似たような仕様があったので、そういうところからちょっとヒントをいます。
And so, you saw before, we were able to jump on top of the taxi, and that's something that was sort of in Super Mario Sunshine at the time, so in that way we're also getting hints from past games.
Can I quickly interject that so as I mentioned, the goal right now is to recruit these musicians. When I was first playing this game for a feedback report for the development team, I could not figure out how to get to this guy on the top of this building. You can just barely see him. He's a speck right now in that triangular building. And the way I eventually found to do it was to take a really long fall. And that worked.
Oh,
and a bit to my surprise. And I wanted to know, when you saw that report from me, what was that a problem to be solved? Was that a cool thing? What was that?
この絵はNCR の報告書を書いている時に、こういうふうにトランペットのバンドラムの到着ができますよと書いてましたが、それを見てちょっと困っていたんでしょうか？
はい、それは読んだんですけれども、今日ここでプレイするとは思わなかったです。
Yeah, I did read that. I didn't know you were going to be playing that right now.
Troublemaker.
Well, I also know the real way. Or another way.
本当のやり方も分かってます。
でも自分でいろんなプレイの仕方を探してもらえたらと思うんですけども、それもスーパーマリオ64やスーパーマリオサンシャインから続くものだと思います。
But you found your own way to play it, and like
letting users, play around with the game and find their own ways of doing things. That's something that, goes way back in 3D Mario, in Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine as well.
So this is actually one of the two kingdoms that's going to be playable on the show floor. The show floor, of course, isn't open yet, so we don't have folks playing the game at this moment, but I'm really looking forward to talking to folks after they've played it, because I think there's so many different ways to problem solve and find the moons in these kingdoms. I'm not even sure if folks will find everything over the course of the show, but it's going to be interesting to find out how different people approached completing some of these objectives.
But the game encourages so much experimentation because you aren't kicked out of the level every time you find a moon. There is no reason not to investigate every little thing you can see that might be interesting. There's no time limit. There's no disincentive. There's lots and lots of cool stuff. Whoa! Okay.
Yeah, that is a very interesting change that adds, I think, to the immersion in the kingdoms. When you think about Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, whenever you got your, whatever the collectible objective was, depending on the game you were playing, you get bumped out of the area and you'd have to come back in. But here, since you're not going to get booted out of the kingdom when you collect a power moon, there's a lot of encouragement to just go check out that weird thing you saw on the horizon, because you can still continue with whatever your primary objective is. Oh no! But then, keep on tracking and finding moons.
Another reason to explore everything is that there's very little punishment for dying. I just lost 10 coins, and there's lots. So
所以这次没有命啊。没有台数，它是反而用扣金币的方式来惩罚。
Cannot be captured until you knock their hats off. Because an enemy with a hat is the scariest thing in this game.
Fashion is very important in this game. You gotta be conscious of your headwear.
哎呦，差点，哎呦。
Well, apparently this is not my day for this challenge.
$333.
And if at first you don't succeed, give up on the third attempt.
I'm just looking at the space where we saw other sections of New York City, and looking here, I'm just so impressed with the texture work that's been done. And I feel like every time I see them build this game, more and more of these textures are just jumping out at me. It's really fun to see in person.
It is a gorgeous
哎呦，
game.
马六被撞还会有
We have some other segments later on
灰
in
尘。
the stream that are going to highlight some especially pretty areas.
哦，那看样子，然后这次补血要拿特殊道具。
And I'll keep my fingers and toes crossed. Yes.
Thank you.
One thing that we haven't mentioned yet that we probably should talk a little bit about is the fact that you're playing with Joy-Con with the wrist straps attached.
Yes.
And that's a really fantastic way to play this game. And of course supports Pro Controller and other controller options. But you can do so much with the motion controls, and throwing Cappy feels very intuitive.
Yeah. I'm going to switch to a different section of the game where I show the sand world, which is also playable on the show floor. So give me just a moment.
Oh, no worries. But I do love that as you're experimenting, and I think we'll see folks doing that on the show floor here, so many of your gestures will affect how Cappy moves, that while you're holding the Joy-Con with the wrist straps attached, you really want to just try moving your arms in different directions. Like, okay, I'm going to throw something up, I'm going to throw down, throw out. But I was really impressed by how well that implementation was put into play. Here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, this place is so pretty.
So here we're in the Sand Kingdom, in the town of Tostarena. They had a problem now because it's all frozen. Everything is cold for reasons, of course, that Mario will eventually solve.
Yeah, actually, if you hang still for a second, we can show his little idle animation. He's cold.
Yeah.
Really cute.
Oh, he's cold.
I love the locals here too.
Yeah, I think he's distracted by the local dancing around, but I think he's by himself and he really shivers.
Oh, poor Mario.
So let's see here. One thing I did want to show off is, so as we mentioned, there's two kinds of coins in this game. And I believe the first time in the mainline Mario series, you can actually buy things with your coins. And I wanted to ask the developers how that came up. That currency should be worth currency.
这种币才是买东西的币值。
はい。今回はコインを本当にお金として扱おうと思いました。
So we wanted, coins to be used as coins in this game. Actually, use them as money.
外国に行った時にその国のお金ってすごいなんか印象に残ってないですか？
And I think you'll agree. If you go to a foreign land, one of the things that makes the biggest impression on you is the currency.
これ使えるのとか思ったりしてます。
You kind of look at it and you think, wait, is this real? Can I use this?
今回はマリオもいろんな国を旅しますので、その国のコインというものを用意しています。
And since Mario was going around to all these different kingdoms in this game, we wanted to make sure that there was a
currency for each one of them.
要素はコレクトするコインの要素になっていますので、集めたものでコスチュームを変えたり、お土産を買うことができます。
And you know, they're collectible items, so you can use them to buy different outfits or buy souvenirs.
お土産買うの楽しいです。
Yeah, and it's always fun to buy souvenirs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh? Coins can be used anywhere but...
So there's two kinds of coins that we mentioned. The purple ones are unique to the local kingdom. The yellow ones can be used in any shop. I'm going to buy, because the guy at the door said maybe I should, I'm not living up to their dress code, maybe I should buy some clothes to fit in better. I'm going to buy a local sombrero and poncho. And wait till you see how adorable Mario looks.
哦，所以这次游戏的进行是这样子。
Adorable. I just love the shopkeeper.
Yeah, and their huge stack of hats.
He's so cute.
And you can see some of the souvenirs you can buy there that you can use to decorate the inside of the ship.
Nice.
And now I'm rocking this look. And let's go try that door again. So my capabilities are the same. You know, it's still Cappy, even though he's turned into a different kind of hat now. He can turn into any kind of headwear, apparently. Exotic superpower. And, alright. So I go over and talk to this guy.
See if you meet the expectations now. Ooh, snappy and lively.
Snappy and lively. I think the hat is the one and the poncho is the other. Alright. And this is, of course, what the goal I was working toward all this time.
I love all these little moments of surprise where you never really know what's going to happen when you
Why did I want to
get
get
into
in
these
this
spaces.
room? I don't know. I wanted to get in this room so I could play a guitar.
You want to get in because it's locked.
Yeah, exactly. So then we're going to move on to some more traditional 3D Mario gameplay over this direction.
Now that you are terribly well dressed, it's time to go do some exploring.
Yeah. And Bowser's footprints, I must be on the right track. So notice that while using the motion controls, I can actually use the little homing function on the hat more easily. It is possible with the button controls only, but it's much more difficult.
Alright, the classic Goomba.
Yeah. And let's just do a big one for that.
That's, I guess something folks are probably noticing here. So you're not capturing those Goomba. It's not every single enemy that's capturable.
That's true.
You've got to find the special ones.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's having a good eye and just experimenting a lot with your cap.
I think they're a shade bigger, the ones you can capture, but I'm not positive of that. Nice. So bullet bills, of course, are useful because you can fly with them.
Uh-huh.
And now I've got to very quickly capture my ride back.
And with bullet bills, you can only capture them for a limited amount of time because at some point they're just going to blow up.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah, you only get so much time with the explosive guys. Alright, and then almost to one of my favorite bits of this level.
What?
Oh yeah, the next bit you're coming up to just blew my mind the first time I saw it.
So this place has these murals that look like they're decorated in this cool old school aesthetic, and I'm just gonna go right on in. And I've still got my costume.
So, Koizumi-san and Murokura-san, I think we definitely need to hear a little bit more background about why you added this into the game, because it's so cool, but it's so unexpected as well, I think.
なんでこのような 2D の8ビットマリオのところも入れたいと思ったんでしょうか。
3D の部分は気持ちよく探索できるように比較的おおらかに作っています。
So we wanted to make something that would be, sort of a contrast with the 3D stages that you're able to explore very freely.
2D の部分はもう少し細かく緊張感がある構成になっています。
The 2D spaces are kind of more confined. They're more precise. It's more like kind of sort of traditional platforming elements.
同じステージの中でもそういった違った遊びっていうのを入れてます。
But also within the 2D stages, as you can see, we wanted to have a lot of different variety.
もちろん昔からのゲームが好きな人にも楽しんでもらえるビジュアルになっています。
And of course, with the visuals, we're hoping it's something the people who enjoyed kind of those classic nostalgic games also get a kick out of as well.
So one thing I'd love to show off when we're getting out toward the end of this space is just how much the music changes when we're transitioning back and forth. Because I know we've been chatting, maybe it's hard for some folks to hear what's been going on here, but if we just pop in and out of that warp pipe, it's a pretty impressive transition when the music changes.
Oh, but there's no warp pipe up here.
Just start jump off. No.
Yeah.
No,
but you can now
no.
see that it's more of a naturalistic instrument. So I'm going to skip ahead and show off the last part of this scenario. Okay, so for that, I will need these. Wrist straps, people. Always wrist straps.
Yes. Yeah, it's worth mentioning too that we're only covering a tiny bit of what is in this kingdom. There's so much more to do and explore.
There's just a ridiculous amount. All right, so here we are. This is much later in the level. I've still got my snappy outfit though, and watch these bullet bills transition out of the 2D, and then I'm going to use one to break open this wall.
So another thing that's really handy about the bullet bills as a capture target that you'll see here, when you're trying to target for really precision flying, it's got a little bit of a headlamp. Oh no, no,
I'm doomed.
That's okay. But it's got a little bit of a headlamp, so you can kind of use that to line yourself up.
It's super handy.
That's okay, because we get to see this cute little 2D to 3D transition again.
I love that. It's so cool.
All right, you got this.
All right, here we go.
And with bullet bills, you can also give yourself little speed bursts as well. Shaking the Joy-Con will let you go a little bit further. So it's worth experimenting once you get a feel for the timing of how long a bullet bill will last.
It's kind of like driving a car that doesn't have any brake pedal. You can go faster, you can steer, but that's all you can do.
Aww.
And all right, so up here we're about to confront one of the Brutals, and folks may have seen them in our original teaser trailer for this game. They are an evil wedding planning firm, and I'd love to hear more from the developers about how they came to be and what your favorite Brutal is.
ライダルっていう団体がその企画してるグループらしいですけど、一番気に入りのライダルズは誰かいますか？
そうですね。彼らはクッパに、雇われてクッパの結婚式を成功させようとしています。
So they've, as you kind of said, they've been employed by Bowser. They're in charge of making sure his wedding goes off without a hitch.
結構仕事をきっちりするタイプですね。
They're very serious about their work.
Their work ethic is admirable.
なので真ん中にいるちょっと背の低い同じような帽子をかぶったようなキャラクターがいるんですけれども、それがリーダーなので僕はそのトッパーというキャラクターが気に入ります。
And my favorite is Topper, the kind of shorter one who has that green top hat.
Yeah, guy in green.
Yeah, Topper.
How about you, Kozumi-san? Do you have a favorite?
そうですね、ちょうど今出てるハリエットっていうその可愛いウサギさんの、キャラクターなんですけど、なんか可愛い香りしてるのに結構凶暴なんで、そのコントラストがすごい面白いなと。
Just really good timing because the character I like the most is the one you're fighting right now, Harriet. She has this great contrast between her cute appearance and like how devilish she is. She's sort of like the tricky little sister of the group here.
Her attacks are really fun to watch as well, especially when she starts flying around.
And it's worth mentioning, you fight each of the Brutals a few times, but their tactics get more and more intense and dangerous.
Having planned a wedding last year, I would take the help of evil wedding planner.
Yeah, I mean, any evil help is better than no help.
And they're very dedicated to their work.
And they're willing to fight your enemies for you, and that's pretty great.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Sorry, Harriet.
She'll be back.
Oh.
All right, so that's a grand moon worth 3 power moons.
And there we see Cappy in his natural state as well.
There he is, celebrating with Mario. Nice. All right, so that's what we have for gameplay for right now. But we did have one more little feature, I believe.
Yes, we've got some new goodies that have turned up here on stage with us. So these are the amiibo for the game. We've got Princess Peach, Bowser, and Mario in their wedding outfits. And I just need to ask you guys about the development process for these, because the detail of the sculpting is incredible. It must have been a very interesting process getting these to the state they're in here.
この帯はすごい細かい作り方になっているようですので、それについてちょっと説明していただけますか。
はい、ヒロインであるピーチ姫をより可愛く魅力的に作っています。
So first of all, we've got our heroine Peach, and we wanted to make sure that she just looked absolutely stunning.
あとクッパとマリオもそのお相手であることに十分なビジュアルとしてデザインしています。
And then from there, we have Mario and Bowser as well. And we have to make sure that in terms of visuals, they weren't going to lose out. They got to keep up. Yeah, they got to keep up. Yeah.
あとこのポージングっていうのも今回のテーマに合わせて物語性を持たせているのが特徴なんです。
And another characteristic of these is that the posing is very kind of directly linked with the story and what's going to be happening in the game.
Yeah, Mario's got kind of a humble bow thing going, and Bowser's kind of looking like I own the world.
And I think Bowser looks pretty dapper here, though.
Yeah.
But it is really amazing. I don't know how close we can get the camera here. We got a better look here, but in person, the texture, where some of them have almost like a pearlized kind of texture, and there's a lot of subtlety with the different kinds of fabric. You can really see a lot of nuance for these amiibo. I'm really looking forward to people seeing them in person.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
And I wonder, at this point, is there anything you'd like to share about the functionality of amiibo for our viewers?
そしてアミーボの機能性について
ですね、アミーボはコスチュームを手に入れることができたり、あとはゲームの中でのお助け機能として活用することができます。
So you'll be able to use the amiibo to get different costumes within the game, and then they'll also have kind of an assist function.
We do have existing amiibo that are supported as well. I think we'll be talking more about that at a later point. But I think that's all we're allowed to show for right now.
Right now, we'll be showing more of this game later on in the stream, of course.
But Mokuro-san and Kozumi-san, thank you again so much for joining us here and sharing some of the insight about the development process of the game.
Thank you very much.
And folks who are watching, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back in a few seconds here with our next segment, so please don't go anywhere.
什么音乐。
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Sam from the Treehouse, and for this segment I'm joined by my colleagues Reggie and Teresa. So, Reggie, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. The spotlight was, as I said, direct, to the point. The reaction by the fans has been fantastic. I mean, certainly Super Mario Odyssey and what we showed from that. The little snippet of Metroid Prime 4 had the fans just tremendously excited. And, you know, it continues our overall message of how we approach E3 and what it is that we're trying to do. For us, it's all about showcasing content, typically content that's near in. So obviously we showed a little bit of ARMS, a little bit of Splatoon 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming later on this year. And then we also showed a couple little snippets of things that are coming a little bit further along. But so far the reaction has been fantastic, and it just continues, right? And that's why we're here on Treehouse Live, a little bit more in-depth view of the games, and so far so good.
Right on. I know we're kind of in the calm before the storm right now. The floor still isn't open, so we can actually still see the carpet. It hasn't been packed with people yet. You've had a chance to do some exploring around the booth. What do you think of New Dog City come to life here at E3?
You know, the booth is fantastic. The team that we have that works on the booth design and the look and the feel, both from an NOA perspective as well as with the headquarter team at NCL, every year they are outdoing themselves. Last year it was the takeover with Breath of the Wild. This year it's all about New Donk City and creating an environment for consumers to really go deep into the game. About half of the booth is all about Super Mario Odyssey. The other half we're showcasing all of our other content, third-party content. We're showing FIFA 18 out on the floor. So it's a great booth, and as you say, this is the calm before the storm. Just as I was coming in earlier, there are already thousands of people out there just waiting to come in. And typically when the doors open, it's like the running of the bulls, and they all come crashing into our booth. So it's going to be fantastic.
Nice. I remember last year we were down on the ground floor, and you could actually feel the rumble in the ground when people started coming in. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be exciting. But again, you know, for us, the spotlight was a focus on Nintendo Switch games. What people don't understand is that as we construct our overall presence at E3, we're very thoughtful around what's the best way to show content. And so Nintendo 3DS is going to play a key role here on Treehouse Live. We've got content that we'll be showing today. We've got content that we'll be showing really throughout the 3 days that we're here. And it's important that the fans at home and our consumers understand that Nintendo 3DS is still a vibrant part of our business. Obviously with Pokemon Ultra Sun, Pokemon Ultra Moon that was announced last week, that's going to be a fantastic holiday driver for us. We've got other great games coming, and you know, what people don't realize is that Nintendo 3DS was the only platform that grew last year in 2016 versus 2015. The only one.
That's very impressive.
And we've sold 66 million globally of Nintendo 3DS. Again, more than any other platform in this generation. People don't know that. I've got my handy-dandy new 2DS XL, and obviously in continuing to showcase new hardware. You know, for us, it's all about continuing to drive that momentum.
It's nice that the family keeps growing. Now we've got this adorable little member to add to it as well.
Exactly. It is really pretty, and it really showcases great. I'm playing Miitopia, right? One of the fun things about my job is I get to play the games early. I'm playing Miitopia. I've got Mii's of Mr. Aonuma, Mr. Miyamoto, Mr. Koizumi is in there, and of course I had to have Bill as the Dark Lord, right? So I'm really enjoying it on my my new 2DS XL, and it's fantastic.
It's pretty sweet when you can play games and you're like, it's work. I'm doing this because I have to do this.
Well, you know, so funny story is I'm playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and putting in a lot of hours in that. I've got my family saying, so, you know, you're doing this just for E3, right? You're doing this because you have to be able to show off and tell people you finished the game, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
it's like, no, I'm doing it because I enjoy it and I want to do it. And so it's fantastic.
I don't know, using the work excuse might be a good way to get out of chores. You're like, sorry, honey, I have to do this. I have to keep playing this.
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It means I have to play early in the morning or late at night. So, but...
I'm actually thinking of other things we've got going on in the booth here and just over the course of E3. We hope to touch a little bit on the tournament activity going on. Because right below us, there's a pretty boss stage that has been constructed.
Well, absolutely. And again, the tournament activity is a key part of what we're doing here at E3. 3 different tournaments, starting off with Splatoon 2 later on today. Then we've got Pokken Tournament DX. We've got ARMS. Hopefully everyone saw how I humiliated Jeff Keighley playing ARMS on his show. But that game is going to really show well, I think, from the tournament scene standpoint. And for us, you know, supporting the tournament community and really driving that part of our engagement with our fans is really important to us. So we're very excited to see how the three tournaments play here at E3.
Yeah, I think it's been really fun watching people play ARMS, and especially watching the high-level competitive players get into the real meat on the bones of that game. And there's such a level of nuance to the strategy and the actual technical ability that I've watched a few folks where they're maybe pro Smash players or pro players from another series, so they really are used to getting into the nitty-gritty and into the weeds of the mechanics, and you'll just see their eyes light up as they start playing ARMS. It's, oh, I'm getting this.
Well,
this
exactly.
has got some interesting depth and flexibility to it. And even within the office, watching who's been picking which characters as mains and how we're gradually sort of growing as players as we're duking it out against one another. But it's been a real fun ride.
It's going to be exciting. I'm really excited to see how the players we have showcase that game, how they showcase Pokken Tournament as well. I saw a little bit of the pre-gaming going on, and that's going to be fantastic. So it's going to be very exciting for us.
So what else are you thinking as far as some must-see titles that you got going on here? Because we've got a lot to cover.
Well, we've got a lot. I mean, you know, again, everything that we have on the floor here is showcasing and showing off fantastically well. I'm pleased to see the third-party support. We've got Rabbids on our show floor. Ubisoft obviously has that game in their area. That is really fun. I've been able to get my hands on that game. That is really fun to play. So it's going to be very exciting. We've got Warriors here on the booth. That game is showcasing, well, really everything we have shows so well, and I'm really thrilled to see what we're doing with third party as well.
And if we can jump to this, I think on this subject of cool titles, you've actually got some surprise for us.
I have a nice little surprise, right? And I said when I was with Keighley that literally within the first hour of Treehouse Live will be breakthroughs. That is what Treehouse Live is doing all through the day. So we have some news. We have a world premiere we're going to play as well. World premiere game announcement on Nintendo 3DS just for you.
Oh, 终于有 3DS 的。银河战士。哦。Samus Return.
Well, surprise!
Yes, I'm so
excited to actually talk about this game.
Yes, welcome back everyone to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Audrey, I'm here with Teresa and Tim, and we have two very special guests with us. We have Sakamoto-san, the legendary creator of the Metroid series, as well as Jose from Mercury Steam. So thank you so much for joining us today. And as we just saw, we're going to take a look at Metroid Samus Returns.
That's
so
right.
we waited long enough. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, let's jump right in to the start. So for the people at home that aren't familiar with the Metroid franchise, this is Nintendo's premier exploration-based sci-fi action game. It features Samus Aran, who's a renowned bounty hunter, and she's been sent by the Galactic Federation to planet SR-388 to investigate and annihilate the Metroids.
She's the best at what she does.
Oh yeah, she's super cool. And this is actually a reimagination of the original Game Boy Classic that was released in 1991, Metroid 2, Return of Samus. And this game is just, it's beautiful. It's
a little bit shinier than the Game Boy version.
Yes, it is. And this game is still about discovery and exploration. You know, there's intense boss battles, and there's so many pathways to discover, and you take your time through it. And
this is classic 2D Metroid to a T. It's got the isolation, the exploration, and of course Samus just generally being amazing.
Yeah, and the great thing about this being on the 3DS is that there's so much detail in the background, and it's really heightened with the 3D feature on. And you can't see it at home right now, but it does feel really, really good.
Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but it adds a lot of depth to the experience.
Yeah. Oh, and something that I want to actually show here on the show floor. So, in the past, Samus was able to aim at 45-degree angles, but now she has this whole range of motion, which really allows for precision here.
It's really nice because, especially as you get further into the game, there are enemies all over the place, so having the freedom to shoot anywhere you like is incredible.
Yeah. So the free aim here is also really cool here, where when I'm actually moving it and I actually have an enemy on sight and target, the audio cue will change, and also that it will highlight in red. So again, it allows for a little bit more precision here.
Yeah, it's still up to you to aim precisely, but that nice visual indicator is just very helpful.
Yeah. And Samus here has her very basic abilities, and so as I keep exploring and seeing new environments, I'll hopefully gather new abilities to upgrade my suit. So this is another new ability that Samus has in this game. It's a melee counter, and if I time it appropriately and immediately shoot, I do a critical hit on the enemy. But in the circumstance that I don't immediately shoot, I have some time to actually just shoot from afar and give myself a little bit more leeway to not get hit.
The melee counter is a new ability, as you mentioned, and it's really great because this game, it's challenging.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very difficult. And since we have Sakamoto-san here, while we're speaking about challenges, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you encountered while developing this game.
このタイトルを開発中に出くわしたチャレンジや課題は何だったのでしょうか。はい。メトロイドに限ったことじゃないんですけれども、ある程度確立されたゲームデザインのゲームに今までやったことのない新しい要素を加えるというのはとても難しいことなんですね。Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's qualified as a big challenge, but something that we face whenever we're working on something like this with an established style of gameplay. It's adding, what sort of new elements can we add to something that again is established and has had some success in the past. 特に今までのシリーズファンの方々が満足していただけて、それでいて刺激的というものを追加するのは非常に難易度が高いって思っていました。Yeah, so I mean, I really felt that it would be difficult, or could be difficult, to bring in new elements that would add a lot of excitement and at the same time make the fans of the franchise, happy and satisfied. でも今回のサムスリターンズではうまくいきました。But I think this time with Samus Returns, I think we've done a really good job. なぜかというと、私は非常に素晴らしいパートナーに巡り会えたからですね。And why is that? It's because we found this really amazing partner to work with. Mercury Steam さんです。And that's Mercury Steam. ホスさんありがとう。Thank you very much, Jose.
Thanks to both of you. And as we were speaking, you actually got Samus's legendary morph ball ability.
I did, and this is very, very handy to get, as you can see through certain tunnels here. Here's a save station, which I don't quite need right now. I'm going to keep on going and exploring this area. Here, this is a pretty weak area from where I just was. You'll see this gate here.
And this is a little different from the original game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And for people that haven't played the Metroid 2 in the past, this purple liquid is actually very painful. And I'll just kind of...
Oh,
yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, so I can't really go down there, and I want to, and I can't really interact with this right now, so I'm gonna keep on moving forward and see.
And that's the nature of this game, is you'll come across areas that you just can't survive in yet, you just can't get past, and you'll have to acquire new tools and abilities to be able to keep exploring and keep pushing forward.
Exactly. So since I couldn't go through the door, I went up and around it. So I'm gonna keep on moving forward, and this is also a brand new feature to the Metroid franchise. These are Aeon abilities. Aeon is a very mystical and powerful energy source, and they actually give abilities to Samus that are very different from the technical upgrades that she gets for her suit. So this one that I just gathered is called the Scan Pulse. And what it does is that... I should remind people that the Aeon abilities are actually not... They're limited. You can't just spam them whenever you want to. And so they'll have their own energy, and you'll have to gather power-ups for them, and also more energy in order to refill that tank. So just to showcase
a Scan Pulse.
Yeah, so to showcase the Scan Pulse, if you see the bottom screen, the map usually kind of explores once you start moving, but if I use the Scan Pulse, it'll actually open up this quadrant of map already for me. And also on the upper screen, it'll show these blocks that I can easily break. So now I know that, there was an actual hidden path there. So.
And normally you would just have to shoot everywhere to try and find breakable blocks, and you can still do it that way if you want to. But if you have the Aeon to pull it off, the Scan Pulse is also very, very helpful.
Yeah, keep in mind though that not everything can be easily broken with your laser. So that's kind of some ammo that you'd have to waste, and it's nice to actually have the Aeon ability to strategize about, which one am I going to use? Am I going to use my ammo, or am I going to use the Aeon ability in order to keep on discovering and exploring?
Absolutely, and throughout her long career, Samus has had a lot of unique abilities at her disposal, and as we've seen already, this game adds even more. So, Jose, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the process you guys went through of adding new abilities like the melee counter or the Aeon abilities.
Yes, well, from the beginning, Sakamoto-san wanted Christine to challenge ourselves to bring new ideas to the series. So we were given freedom to prototype a lot of different ideas and mechanics and see which ones would better fit within the Metroid universe. Once these ideas and mechanics were discovered, it was just a matter of iterating and polishing the design.
Oh, wonderful. You really add a lot to the experience, so good work.
Yes, they do. So here's an energy station, and I'm a little bit low, so I'm just going to take that.
You always want to take advantage of those energy stations. Every little bit of health matters.
Yeah, for sure. You'll notice that a beeping started. That's actually my Metroid detector, and it's telling me that there is a Metroid nearby. Again, for people that don't really know what Metroids are, they're an alien species that they're pretty dangerous, and they suck up the life form of any alien species.
提前看到这边，再看最后一个音速小子就结束了。 惊讶到。日本的任天堂反而没有音速小子的影片，对啊，可是音速小子为什么会在这边？
So in the original Metroid 2, whenever you defeated a certain prerequisite number of Metroids, the ground would rumble and then you would know that you would be able to proceed to the next area. So now, in this game, you have these gates, and if you press on it and you enter the Metroid DNA that you had just gathered from the Metroid you just killed, it will enter into this gate, unlock, reduce this hazardous liquid that was killing me before, and now I'm able to get to the next area.
It's really cool having this really visual cue of your progress in the game as well.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go to a later area in the game.
And we've gotten a glimpse of it a little bit, but the 3DS hardware really goes a long way in bringing this world to life. It helps communicate the isolation of Samus being stuck on this alien planet. So, Sakamoto-san, could you speak a little to how you used 3DS tech to bring this world to life and really reimagine it?
3DS 技術が没入感、雰囲気、それ上にこの未知の惑星のサムスが一人の孤独感をより高めていると思いますが、3DS 用にどういうふうにその技術を使って、この世界を想像し直されたのでしょうか。
はい、確かにおっしゃる通り、今回の、サモスのこのゲームですね、ここでは3D の立体視というものが非常に効果的だと思いますね。例えばじゃあ技術面でホセさん何かありますか？
Yeah, I mean, I do think that with this title, of course, with Samus, the 3D, the Glasses 3D effects are put to great use. It really does help build the world that we're exploring. But I'd like to go ahead and ask Jose to talk a little bit about some of the more technical aspects.
Yes, it was very clear to us from the beginning that if we wanted to convey to the player the greatness of the inner depths of the planet and the vast glory of the social civilization, we had to provide a big sense of scale thanks to the depth given by the 3DS capabilities. So we wanted to reflect this from early on in the development process, this scale, through the first initial counterparts.
Oh, you've gotten yourself in trouble, Teresa.
I always do. I ran into his room and he didn't like me being here.
Oh, you woke him up from a nap.
Yeah.
That.
But I'm stuck here until he gives me leave.
And now is not the time to play with it necessarily, but I want to point out that you also got your spider ball upgrade.
That's right, and I also got bombs here. So these are actually very handy for taking him out. Oh my gosh.
play with your new friend. This is obviously an enemy from the original game, and that brings to mind the fact that all of the enemies can actually be redesigned for this version. So, Jose, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what the process was for redesigning the enemies from the original game.
Yes, we wanted to respect the visual design of the regular enemies as much as possible, but we had to adapt the attacks, movements, and behaviors so they could fit with our new gameplay, without making them lose much of the original feel in the process. As for the Metroids, they were the stars of the show, along with Samus in the original game, and we wanted also to be the same in our game. They suffer a massive overhaul from the visuals of the original game and the gameplay mechanics. And also we wanted to clearly show the transition in the iPhone from one Metroid to another. And this is something that is very clearly reflected in the movements, behaviors, and attacks.
Thank you. And good work, Teresa.
Oh, thank you. So I could actually take the spider ball, and the spider ball is actually an ability here that's very, very unique to Metroid 2. But I'm actually going to do a very hard technique that I'm not doing very good right now. I swear I practiced this.
The bomb jump.
Oh no. Alright, well, let's try.
Metroid fans have spent hours trying to get to the craziest places using bomb jump.
Oh no.
But as you're trying to work your way around this map, that also brings me to the point that a lot of the maps have been redesigned for the new system. So, Jose, can you speak a little to the process of redesigning the maps as well?
Yes, we wanted to respect as much as possible the original layout of the original game because it has such a distinct structure within the Metroid series. Well, we wanted to add a lot of new things because we wanted to effect also new. And we added lots of sections different from the original game because we wanted to accommodate all of our gameplay needs. And also we wanted the game to be more, the exploration to be more dynamic and diverse than in the original game, introducing some classic abilities from other games in the series but that were not present in the original game. And also we added some new, of course, special abilities that are unique to this title. So the combination of both made us realize some very interesting situations regarding the level design for players to actively figure out their way forward in new ways.
Actually, before I take this elevator, I want to show this. This is also a new feature to Metroid Samus Returns, and it's a teleport station. This actually helps a lot with the mobility of the game, where instead of backtracking all the way through previous areas, you can actually use a teleport to quickly jump into a new area. And this actually really helps when you're trying to gather some items that you weren't able to in the past or explore new pathways that you weren't able to before. I'm not going to take it right now. I'm actually going to go back and take this elevator to a new area.
But you're right, it's such a huge addition to the game, being able to more quickly get to the areas you've already been to and find all those juicy secrets you weren't able to get at before.
Well, because like gathering all these items, it actually rewards you in the end because it does get more difficult as you further get into the planet, and the baddies do get really hard. So you definitely want to get all those upgrades and the items, and it rewards you. But you can also choose not to if you want a challenge. So I've visited previous lava rooms before, so I know that this red door looks a little bit dangerous, but I'm gonna go in anyway just to show.
You're a rebel.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, I don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna actually use the scan pulse because I see there's something up there, and I'm pretty sure there's a pathway, but just to make sure.
Yeah, you have the A on energy might as well.
There we go.
Excellent.
So we're gonna go up here.
I love how if you had just shot up above you, it would have looked like there wasn't anything to break. So
Yeah.
it's actually good that you used the scan pulse right there.
Yeah, I have gotten lost more than once. Here's another suit upgrade.
Oh, I love this.
This does feel really good. It's really epic.
I love how vibrant the colors are. It's just, this world is so Metroid, so beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just, again, it's really cool when the 3D feature is on because you get to see all the stuff that's happened in the background. But yeah, so I'm gonna go in here.
You know, Samus has her classic suits.
Yeah, her various suits. So I can't go here, so let's try going back to the way we came from. Oh, that was close.
That was close.
That was very close. I like to play dangerously.
And now you can survive the
explore this room now. And we could always go back and explore other lava rooms to see what we missed.
I'd point out that this is all one planet, this is all SR388, but look how different the environments are. It's a big planet.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of different areas and a lot of variety.
So much variety, yeah. And every